Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little notify bell next to it to make sure you always get your new Going In Raw notifications. We're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. All sorts of great bonus content over there. This week alone, we had, we gave some history thanks to Alex C. Of wrestling missed.
Yes.
And then we booked our own mist, what we think mist how it should affect you. For example, usually red mist, it's a burning sensation. When we rebooked it, it turns you into the Kool-Aid Man.
Well, I think more importantly, the green mist, which will temporarily blind you maybe, gives you money.
We rebooked it to makes you rich.
Makes you rich.
Black mist makes you an oil man.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a fun one. We also did a tape trade on Patreon, or YouTube channel members can get access to that as well. Really bad TNA match. Got a lot of bonus content there. Of course, at the $20 a month mark, you can also submit your question to Matt Chat, where we will run the video, run your question, your text question, whatever, and then we'll talk about it. Which is what we're going to do today. And of course, go ahead.
Sorry, before we get to that, what's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
You got 3 days left. Friendomarket.com. We got Friendo Club shirts there. It's just not a garment. It's a way of life.
Yeah, man.
But you can get yours off 20% right now using promo code FRIENDO between now and end of day Friday.
You see somebody walking around with this shirt, like a wrestling show or just, at Macy's or Kmart or whatever. And that person, they're a fan of pro wrestling, but they're not a jerk about it. And that's the cool thing about Friendo Club. It's a positive place for friendos to talk wrestling or life, what have you.
Yeah.
Before you head over there, 3XL, 4XL, and mediums, they're all sold out.
Whoa.
They're all sold out.
Whoa.
We've got a couple of smalls and 2XLs, XLs, and larges. Right now, we're filming this on Tuesday. We got a bunch of them still, but
by the time this goes up tomorrow, Wednesday,
they might be gone. So, man, we're running out of our entire stock of this.
About 72 hours time.
Right now, 20% off. Promo code FRIENDO, friendomarket.com.
And if you want to get your hands on one of these shirts before the holidays, now is the time to do it because we probably will restock sometime in 2020. Obviously, that's after the holidays. So if you want to get it now, you want to get that 20% off. Strike while the iron's hot.
We haven't talked about when we're going to restock.
No.
We will, but it's not going to be in time for the holidays for sure.
Not at all. No.
Yeah, right now, great deal. I might even say best deal. You also get those stickers with it.
Yeah, it's great value, top value. Anyways, enough of us trying to sell stuff.
Yeah.
Let's answer some questions.
Let's sell some answers.
Yes, first from the Enforcer, Stevie Bradley. Let's see what the Enforcer has to say.
Hey, Steven Larson and all the friendos out there. It's the Enforcer. And got a Mad Chat question for you. And this just kind of popped into the head right now as I am sitting here. November 2019, wrestling-wise, has there been a better month? I mean, we've had so many great wrestling shows, so many great wrestling moments in this month. And, man, I'm just trying to think. I don't think I've seen a better month, so you guys tell me. Has there been a better month of wrestling than November 2019? And if it is, please enlighten me, because I don't know. No. Too good, me brother.
Thank you, Enforcer.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, here's what you have to do first, I think. So, yes, November of 2019, it's been a really good month. Why don't you name some of the qualifications?
You mean of just November?
Well, he's talking about November of this month.
Yeah.
We had Full Gear this month, of course.
Well, yeah. It's so first and foremost, we have 5, depending on where you live and what channels you get, 5 days a week. Sorry, 4 days a week. You have 5 different brands offering up their content on cable and network television. You have Raw, Impact, AEW, NXT, and SmackDown. And if you've got internet, you can watch a whole bunch of other stuff.
NWA Power.
Exactly. So I don't think there's been a time past like the territory days when if you lived in some nexus of multiple territories where you got multiple options on your television.
Rich kids with a satellite dish.
Something like that, yeah, early adopter of cable. So if you just talk about the plethora of options, it's unparalleled probably right now in the history of wrestling.
Yeah,
in terms of what you can watch, what's available at your fingertips any given moment, any day of the week.
NXT UK seems to have like a...
Oh, yeah, NXT UK.
They've got
another
great
one.
stuff going on, too.
That's another one, so that's 6. And that is on Thursday. That's 5 days a week. So regardless, that's just one aspect of it. Take into account the quality, by and large, of all that product. And it's hard to argue that we're not living in, like, peak wrestling in terms of the quality of the in-ring product. I'm not talking creatively. My basis, my criteria for this is the quality of what we see between the ropes. Mm-hmm. And what we've seen this month across the board has been exceptional.
Yeah.
Full gear. Really fun show. Mm-hmm. And it offered a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah.
He had the hardcore match. He had traditional wrestling matches. It gave you a little bit of everything. Survivor Series, which happened this past weekend, in terms of what was going on between the ropes, was the best WWE pay-per-view they've put on in years.
Mm-hmm.
In years. TakeOver. They always deliver.
Yeah.
And again, a little bit of something for everybody. You had the crazy War Games match. You had a more traditional wrestling type match with Riddle and Balor. And that's not even taking into account the quality of stuff that is on TV every single week. AEW putting on great matches every single week.
Yeah.
Creatively, Raw and SmackDown might not be the best. You're guaranteed to at least get one really, really good, one really fun match every single week.
What pay-per-view does New Japan have going on? Is World Tag Leagues happening right now? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have not heard
shows.
anything about that stuff.
Yeah, I've been kind of following on Twitter.
Power Struggle. Is that right?
Oh, is that coming in November?
Was Power Struggle this?
No, last one's King of Pro Wrestling in October.
Oh, okay.
Or did Power Struggle already happen? I don't remember.
What is this? Yeah, I don't know. I'm so lost with New Japan. Oh, that's right. They're doing they did an LA thing.
So just in terms of the amount, the quality, and we just had one of those particular months, and I think we're gonna get a lot more of them in the future, especially with these major 4 pay-per-views, where we're gonna have like well, actually, this might be the first time it's gonna happen in a while. Unless I was going to say it's going to be something that's going to happen with more regularity, I think, is we're going to have a major 4 pay-per-view from WB, a TakeOver, and an AEW pay-per-view all in 1 month. Mm-hmm. Now, if we get those things plus a New Japan show, then you're talking Prime Wrestling, potentially. I did a little bit of research because there was other options like your answer. I thought about that. I thought about some summer show, whether it be centered around a WWE/TakeOver event or Dominion over New Japan. Yeah. But just having the breadth of what is offered to us now is insane.
Here's what I got. So this I have 2 answers here. So yeah, November's great, but go back just a couple months ago to August.
Yeah.
This was the lineup in August. Number 1, Triple Mania.
Okay? Yeah, no, I thought about trying to find a really good Triple Mania.
Triple Mania. This year I thought was killer. Plus we did the Friendo co-stream.
That was a lot of fun.
I mean, that might have been wrestling event of the century. You had, this is kind of whatever, but CMLL, New Japan, Ring of Honor ran their summer supercard, where it had Ladder War 10. Mm-hmm. But then you have, TakeOver Toronto, Adam Cole versus Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match where Adam Cole won to retain his NXT championship. That was a killer match. SummerSlam was a lot of fun this year. They pared it down to like a 3.5 hour card. That was awesome.
You had a good
you had the G1.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you look at what's the best month of wrestling, you got to look at the G1, and that's usually in August. Mm-hmm. A lot of it's in August, and the final was in August. You had, of course, you had the big weekend where you had AEW TakeOver Cardiff and Royal Quest all in the same day.
Yeah.
All in the same day. Those were all fantastic shows. Everything I just named, and then the Super J Cup final. Whoa.
There's a lot going on.
That's all big stuff. So maybe August this year. I also look back a little bit, maybe not as packed, but I always like to look at January of 2017. Wrestle Kingdom 11 kicked off the year. was that month.
Yeah.
And kicked off the year with Okada versus Omega 1. I still think that's one of the most important matches of our day, because I think that really led to what we see today with All Elite Wrestling. You had, I don't know, this is TNA One Night Only Joker's Wild 2017. I don't know what that is. It sounds great, though.
I don't know what that is either.
Sounds great. TNA had One Night Only Rivals 2017. Jeff Hardy versus Lashley.
That sounds like a tape special.
That's interesting. The first UK tournament also was in January of 2017, so that's big. TakeOver San Antonio, Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke. It's a good match.
That was a great match.
And then you had the Royal Rumble that year. Randy Orton won, which was fun also. You know, it wasn't. It was an out of the ordinary win there.
Of course, what led to one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time.
Orton versus
Bray Wyatt. Yeah,
with
a bunch of
Worms match.
Yeah.
So
not so great.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I think that the August, and I think, like you said, we're gonna get a lot more of that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is when the calendar falls into place and we get a New Japan, like August of this year, depending on what day All Out 3 happens. You know, it's going to be Labor Day weekend, whatever that last Saturday is, or of August or the first Saturday of September, depending on when it falls. August is going to be huge because you'll have SummerSlam, you'll have Triple Mania, you'll have All Out 2 or All In 3, maybe a TakeOver.
Yeah, and then coming up this February, you've got TakeOver and potentially another AEW pay-per-view running the same weekend, maybe.
Yeah, maybe even in the same part of the country.
Could be.
The one thing I would say that would separate now from even August is AEW TV, 2 hours of NXT on USA. Yeah. Because just between those two television presentations, we're getting incredible matches
really good
on
stuff.
A weekly basis.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, NXT has kind of been treating their televised product as kind of junior takeovers.
Sure, yeah.
In terms of match quality, in terms of at least of the major marquee matches.
A lot of the invasion, especially on the NXT side of things, the invasion stuff has been really good.
Yep, really has. I mean, regardless, this is a renaissance of wrestling. Key is to enjoy it. Watch what you like. Yeah. If you don't like something, just don't watch it.
It's all good.
Just celebrate wrestling, all that it offers.
It's all good.
Yeah. It's all good. Let's just be happy about it. Anyway, Steve, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Manscaped.
Ooh.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where a lover has gone down to your man zone only to see that your entire front area is covered in a dense, overgrown mess of thick bush?
That sounds like the entirety of my sexual life in the 20s, Larson.
Huh?
In my 20s. I said the 20s. Well, we're here to tell you. Did you know that I'm immortal? We're here to tell you.
You're a Highlander.
I am. Just don't take off my head. We're here to tell you that you have the power to make your grooming skills the absolute best with Manscaped. I, like most guys, have been the victim of harsh trimmers that have taken tiny bits of ball skin when trying to groom down there.
Yeah, thankfully we're here to tell you that Manscaped has completely changed the game. Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer with their Lawnmower 2.0. It's got proprietary technology that keeps your gimmick safe from cuts and snags.
Yeah, but that's not all. Why just keep your hog pen free from slop when you can also make it smell good too? Manscaped has an anti-chafing deodorant and moisturizer called Crop Preserver that keeps your nether region smelling fresh.
And right now, friendos can get 20% off and free shipping and a free travel bag by going to manscaped.com and using promo code GIR. Use the right tools to keep your ball skin safe. Trust me, your balls will thank you.
As will your lover when he or she goes down to your undercarriage and see that your grooming skills have made a face turn. Again, get 20% off, free shipping, and a free travel bag by going to manscaped.com and using promo code GIR.
Thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going In Raw and your ball skin by going to manscaped.com and using promo code GIR. Next, got a question from Stephen M. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, friendo, Stephen M. here with my Mad Chat question. So the way WWE and every other company is just taking on the amount of just massive, unbelievable talents, but WWE in general, just their roster is stacked from top to bottom, and I feel like the draft showed that, where there's just amazing talents from top to bottom. Do you think that there's going to become to a point where there's no bad to like just kind of meh wrestlers in the company, and everybody from like the loser locker room to the top can put on like a near 4 to 5 star match? I know your thoughts. Too sweet. Hardy handshake.
Thank you, Stephen M.
You go first.
Yeah, sure. I'll go first.
I guess.
I kind of feel like we're almost there, almost to the point where the roster is just stacked with such talent that given the opportunity, anybody on that roster can put forth excellent matches. I just, between the constant evolution of the sport, people, wrestlers everywhere upping their game, WWE signing everybody. Like anybody in that locker room has potential to put on a great match at any given time, just given the opportunity. Now that's kind of the key, especially when WWE seems to think that, well, we signed you to be a very particular role, and we don't really see that particular person deviating from said roles. Therefore, you're not going to get the opportunity to show the full breadth of your abilities. Nonetheless, I think just about everybody in the roster right now has the ability to do something exceptional and awesome.
Yeah, I mean, WWE is trying their darndest to snap up everybody who's even close to making a name for themselves these days on the indie scene. And let's be honest, anybody who's making a name for themselves are doing so because of really terrific matches that end up going, in the world of wrestling anyways, viral.
Yeah.
Either
put on really incredible matches or doing really interesting character work.
Yeah, yeah. And
both.
I think at a certain point, like you said, if given the opportunity, I think so many people, if you're able to rise to that level with so much wrestling out there, if you're able to rise to the level that you're going to get noticed by WWE in the world of like independent wrestling, or even with like if you're wrestling for AEW, New Japan, or whomever, if you're getting noticed, then you're doing really good work in the ring. The only caveat there is if they are elevating people from the developmental world, meaning they're bringing people in from MMA, football, wherever, and they don't have the experience on the independent roster, but WWE sees something in them, whether it's, Vince will push a guy just based on his look alone. If it's like some huge giant guy.
Wardlow.
Yeah. Who might not have the tools in the ring.
Right back.
But has a really, really good or interesting or unique or just Vince-centric look.
Mm-hmm.
Then, that might be a caveat there. But yeah, I mean, by and large, like the wrestling's never been better. And I think given the opportunity and given the right situation, I mean, dude, look at where they are. They're at the Performance Center. They're there like every day just working on their matches,
Mm-hmm.
just working on improving.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it in NXT. The matches are just really, really good. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's getting to the point. Will we ever be to the point where literally everybody in the locker room is that? I don't know. I mean, there's always going to be a scrub or two, but or like, why is this person still around? Kind of situation where those people might just be really good at politicking, or they're just really charming backstage.
Or it could be a situation where their in-ring skills may not be necessarily. At the same level as others, but they do something else well. It doesn't have to be because they're good politics backstage. Maybe they do really good character work. Maybe they're really good on the mic.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something as simple as you mentioned earlier, just someone has a really good look, a real interesting look.
Yeah. There are more reasons people stick around or are kept beyond what they can do in the ring. And there are always going to be people like that. So, I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to get to the point where literally everybody is, but like, I think we're at a point right now where, God, I'd probably say 80% of the roster, at least in NXT, could, if given the proper circumstances, could totally put on that match. I think that 4 or 5 star matches are kind of, I don't want to say easier to come by, but like, you see a guy like, for example, Juice Robinson, he was CJ Parker in NXT. You look at him, you never really thought, oh, this guy's going to be put on 5 star matches. He goes to New Japan, and he goes through the dojo system, the Young Lion thing, and look, it's like, yeah, if you get enough reps, if you're in there with the right people, your game is going to develop to the point. If you can put it all together.
Yep.
I think a lot of people can do that more so than I think is
generally thought. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Totally. Next, got a question from Cult of False Realities.
What's up, Stephen Larson, Cult of False Realities, back once again. I'm outside work right now, but I want to get this match chat real quick, and I'm going to just cut to the chase, man, because after all this stuff that's going on with ACH and wrestling, I got to ask this. Is wrestling in general just racist? If you look back on the history, it kind of seems that way, but let me get your opinion. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Thanks to be back. Deuces.
Thank you, Cult of False Realities.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We can just have a discussion about this. I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, if he feels that way, that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
But you wrote one sentence here for your answer. I wrote nothing.
Okay.
And it's this. I'll give you credit.
All right.
No, wrestling is a reflection of the creative minds behind it. So is wrestling inherently racist? No, I don't think so. Now, has Vince, being the leader of the creative head of WWE, has he in the past been prone to doing things that are problematic, so to speak? Sure, absolutely. Yeah. That being said, like, is it now? Like with, the ACH situation with the T-shirt, I like to think that it's more a matter of WWE being oblivious and maybe lacking the proper representation up and down the ranks. We talked about this when we talked about the ACH thing. Up and down the ranks, not having the proper amount of representation to ensure things like the Jordan Miles T-shirt didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a possibility. Could you call that racist? I'm sure that you could call that racist in terms of hiring practices. So, I mean, there's the possibility there, but I wouldn't say that, pro wrestling in general is racist. I think that it's at the service of the people who are behind it. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Cornette and his joke on NWA Power is indication that if something like that happens, the people will speak up and things will happen.
Yep.
And that's what happened with him. He's gone now.
Yeah.
So there you go. Next, in the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we got a lot of these.
The friendo Rich has a question, kicking things off with the Thanksgiving section of Matt Chat. Let's see what he has to say.
Brendo's Rich the Smash Bro here. I'm not driving. I'm at a traffic light, getting my beard up to Larson epic scale. Anyway, really quick, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, what superstars have the weirdest things they're thankful for? Is it Corbin with his Ferraris or Twitter opinions? Is it Triple H for salmon? Just, go out the box. Have fun with it. But what superstars are thankful for the weirdest things? Have a good holiday, boys. Keep it up. See you soon.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
I actually had a hard time thinking of kind of weird ones. One I thought of, though, is Tommaso Ciampa and Adam Cole have to be very thankful that Tommaso Ciampa apparently has very good balance.
They should also be thankful that the people who constructed the cage that night did a solid job making sure that everything was in place.
Because if the smallest little thing goes wrong, someone is really hurt really badly.
Yeah, I'm not huge on that spot.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people got on the Mox Omega match for being too dangerous. That spot in War Games was more dangerous than anything they did in the other match, in terms of causing like real physical, lifelong damage to each other.
I agree, with the understanding that neither of us are
trained in that.
Yeah,
totally.
I mean, I read was it during the Undertaker interview where he said, or was it I don't know where I read this, that it's the little things that'll get you and not the big spots. I think a caveat would have to be made with coming down, 20 feet or whatever, off the cage. And I know you're going through a table and that's going to...
from that height, that's not going to break your fall very much.
Man, that was a rough bump.
It's not just the bump, it's the margin of error up there.
And I agree with you. I think a bunch of scrapes and bruises that you'd get from that hardcore match are far and away less damaging long-term to your actual structural bodily whatever than coming 20 feet down.
There's that aspect of it, but for me, I guess in my mind, it's also the smallest little thing goes wrong up there. Ciampa takes an uncontrolled tumble. Both those guys could be significantly hurt or worse.
I know. No, I agree
can't
totally.
think of any moment in that hardcore match between Kenny and Mox where some little thing goes wrong and something analogous could happen. Yeah. Maybe the spot where Kenny gets that shard of glass out and puts it to Mox's head or something like that. But like the barbed wire is probably the shortest length barbed wire, so it might just break your skin and cut you up a little bit.
Well, I mean, we saw, they all bled and stuff, but it's like a scratch is nothing compared to like the trauma of, like you said,
potential paralysis or something like that.
Even the fact that they pulled it off properly, dude, that to me is a bigger problem. I'll be honest with you. The War Games matches are always booked so fun and so... I don't need the big moment off the cage, man. I don't need that.
I know.
I really don't. So I don't know.
Certainly nothing
man.
to that extent.
I have a couple here. Seth has got to be thankful for the mute or block feature on Twitter, because I'm sure that he could just go and mute, otherwise his notification. I don't know how really famous people who are incendiary in that manner. And with Seth, I'm not going to say it's necessarily incendiary, but it does in the manner that it causes a lot of people to respond.
Mm-hmm.
I literally don't know how they handle Twitter.
I don't know either.
Like, I'm sure that there is a feature where you just turn off your notifications or something.
Yeah, you can do that.
But then I guess you turn them off for people you don't follow, perhaps.
And you can like mute whole conversations.
You can do that. I've done that before. So I'm sure Seth is thankful for those elements of Twitter, those features on Twitter, which saves him from his mentions. I'm sure Randy Orton at this point is probably thankful for Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling for existing, which probably landed him a windfall for his latest contract.
Yeah.
Mike Kanellis at this point, Mike Bennett, probably thankful for anybody willing to fly him out for a free motivational speech.
There you go.
What's your take on that? We never did talk about Mike Bennett.
Oh,
Mike Kanellis saying, hey, if you want a motivational speaker,
I guess he's sitting at home not doing anything.
I'm your guy, free gratis.
Yeah, as long as people pay for his travel, he'll do it. I mean, I guess if it's analogous to doing a job for exposure.
Yeah, right.
He does a few speaking engagements, gets a good reputation, gets some recommendations, and then he can down the road start charging for it.
Do you think he could perform on a Friendo Road episode, as long as we don't talk about wrestling?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I don't know.
Give us a motivational speech.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's like, hey, Mike, we need to know how to get over 192,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how it's done, guys.
He's like, okay, I'll tell you how it's done, but first, do you guys know how to get out of a wrestling contract?
Well, maybe later on this episode we'll have some help for you, Mike.
There you go.
But before then, let's answer Guion Halili, his question.
Hey there, friendos. This is Jacksonville's number one Matt Chatter, Guion Halili, back with another Matt Chat question. Happy Thanksgiving to all the friendos. Hope you guys have a great holiday. Just stuff your faces with much, much food. This week, a Matt Chat question for the special Thanksgiving edition. Stephen Larson, book a Thanksgiving dinner full of wrestlers. The catch is, Larson, you get to book an amazing Thanksgiving dinner full of just fun stories and intelligent conversations. Who would be there? What wrestlers? From what companies? Steve, you book the disaster. Which wrestlers would be there? From what companies? Who would fist fight? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Later.
Thank you, Guion.
Thank you, Guion Halili.
You go first.
Jacksonville's number one.
So what's this total disaster of a Thanksgiving meal?
So here's the thing. You're like, man, I want to book the worst Thanksgiving meal in history. If you're hosting it, if you're just an outside observer, this could be the best. So as recently stated on the Broken Skull sessions with Undertaker, Buzz Sawyer, not much of a people person, evidently.
Didn't seem like it.
Undertaker said he fell short of being a good human being.
He'd be the guy, like, you have like a potluck thing. He says, oh, I'll bring it, and then shows up empty-handed and yet eats more than his fair share.
And he might be naked. The thing that I love is that Undertaker went out of his way to say that he had a limp handshake. That's messed up. I'm sure. I feel like there could have been a whole podcast just on Buzz Sawyer. Sid, who apparently is okay stabbing a person with scissors, so that's incendiary. Invader, who, I mean, do we have to say allegedly with this one? Killed Bruiser Brody, stabbed him to death. Although he was cleared of all charges via trial is Invader still alive? He's still alive, isn't he?
I think so.
Oh my God, terrifying. A pre-DDP yoga, what do they call that house? The accountability crib. Mm-hmm. Jake the Snake, because from a lot of people's accounts, he sort of fell short of being an on-the-level human being. And then the Ultimate Warrior, who also was prone to get into shouting matches with, what was it, like the Iron Sheik at that wrestling convention? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they get the Ultimate Warrior. I think that right there, a solid Thanksgiving meal.
That sounds like a disaster.
It's just a disaster.
An absolute disaster. Now, if you want to have a great meal some great conversation, some good laughs. Maybe play some board games afterwards. That's what I'm talking about. John Cena. You know it's going to be impeccably planned.
Yeah.
Food's going to be top notch.
Yeah, I like everybody else is great. I think he's a bummer.
No, because he's on Total Bellas. He's got a sense of humor.
I don't know.
He's got a sense of humor.
Say the wrong thing, you might just look at you straight and go,
that was for TV.
What do you mean?
Cody and Brandy.
Oh, great.
Endlessly charming.
Yeah, great.
The New Day. Endlessly charming.
Perfect.
Britt Baker and Adam Cole.
Awesome.
Great. I think across the board, those are great answers.
That's fantastic. That would be a delightful
great
meal.
conversation, good laughs,
A delightful
great
meal.
food.
Delightful meal.
I'm telling you, man, that'd be fun. Next, Patrick Sparks.
Hey friendos, Pat here. Happy Thanksgiving. Granted, this will be up a day early, but enjoy the festivities and all the food. Speaking of food, that is what my question is about this week. I want you to associate a wrestler with all of the Thanksgiving foods: turkey, stuffing, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, gravy, cranberry sauce. All of the foods, please. And who should be the next gobbledygooker? And why is it Baron Corbin? Thanks, friendos. Bye.
Thank you, B-Man.
Thank you, B-Man. I had nothing. I got nothing.
All right, this is what I got. Turkey, Baron Corbin.
He's totally a turkey.
He's a turkey.
Hey, turkey.
Mashed potatoes, I put Vader because he
Okay.
works stiff. And when they call a stiff punch in wrestling,
potato. Okay, good. Okay, that's good.
I put Undertaker stuffing because both those things are I only see about once or twice a year.
Oh, yeah, man. I'll go to the store, pick up some box stuffing every once in a while.
I used to do that in college. I don't do that anymore.
That's so good.
It's like I only have stuffing at Thanksgiving and Christmas. I love it.
Yeah, it's so
I love
good,
it,
man.
I was trying to think of who'd be good gravy, or like green bean casserole.
Well, I mean,
who's someone who's good, sensible, but not necessarily exciting.
Roman
Okay.
doesn't really excite me,
Yeah.
but I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Roman's there. I'm good with
All
it.
right. Roman's green bean casserole. Then.
All right. Gravy. Well, you can use the other term for gravy. It's all gravy. You know. What is it's all gravy? Does that mean it's all good?
Yeah. This means like a little something extra.
Well, something extra, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's apple pie? Apple pie is delicious. You just want to.
Well, that'd be John Cena. He's all American, man.
No, that'd be the worst apple pie ever. He's kind of
For being such a huge John Cena fan,
I am a fan of him, but I don't.
You think
I
so
don't
little
think
of
of him as like warm and like delicious. That's not John Cena. You know what? You know what apple pie is?
Adam Cole's apple pie, then.
No, you know what apple pie is? It's Charlotte and Andrade.
Okay.
It's their love.
All right.
Is apple pie
All
because
right.
it's pure and warm and just
Not
makes
just warm, hot.
It's hot. It is hot. Caliente. En fuego. Muy delicioso.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on from this
Yes.
silliness. Christopher Rappersod, let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Happy Thanksgiving. So, my question is, what will be your dream food to eat for Thanksgiving and your dream place to go take your family and eat somewhere cool, something that would be crazy and cool?
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, for me, it'd be Vince McMahon's house.
Sounds like a damn nightmare.
I think it's probably amazing. I think it's probably so fascinating. It's probably so interesting to see Vince's weird quirks at play at Thanksgiving.
Oh, that sounds so awkward.
What is he weird about? What stories does he have? What business is discussed over Thanksgiving meal? That's what I want to know. And Triple H is there. And here's the thing about Triple H. You know Triple H, everything I've ever heard about him, he seems like a pretty decent dude. He seems like a decently down-to-earth guy. He was all business when it came to wrestling. He wouldn't drink, wouldn't do drugs. He was about one thing, and that was the business. But he's not weird. I don't think he's got a weird quirk in him. I've never heard anything about Triple H having like a weird stick up his ass about anything. He always came off as a guy who just really loved wrestling, but he's a normal dude, you know? Mm-hmm. And I wonder how a guy like that operates at a Vince McMahon Thanksgiving, where there's like weird family dynamics, how Vince doesn't really like Shane all that much.
That's so weird.
He'll like
So weird.
endlessly praise somebody on Twitter for their birthday.
And then barely give Shane a mention.
Yeah. He said Shane never got a hug. That sounds fascinating.
Also really awkward, potentially.
Oh, I don't know. Uncomfortable, maybe. I'm not going to say awkward, but maybe you'll feel uncomfortable because you're not going to know how to react, how to act.
Yeah.
But as a fly on a wall, it'd be fascinating.
Try to think of some. Trying to think of a wrestling specific location that's like kayfabe, you know?
Oh yeah.
That sounds fascinating.
Oh, parts unknown. What the hell's that all about?
Yeah, but that could be dangerous. If I'm having my Thanksgiving dinner there, I want to be able to enjoy a good meal. You know?
Was there like a kayfabe, like small town?
Where was Max Payne from, the guitar guy?
Oh God, I don't know.
Where was he built from? It
I
was something
remember
funny.
it was something weird. What about where Private Party's built from?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
A place you need an invite to.
That's the movie.
I know. I don't know why I just did that.
Wrestler. Put wrestler there. Where's he built from? Oh,
Hell's
State of Euphoria.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I want to have Thanksgiving dinner.
But then you have to be careful not to get sent instead to the other place he was billed from, Hell's Kitchen.
But if that's a Gordon Ramsay cooking show, you might be able to get some good food out of that too.
I'm really hungry right now, so I wish we just stopped talking about that.
All right, let's move on. We got some text questions then. King Kitano says, "Hey guys, my first Matt Chat question. Now that we totally know that Punk is going to wrestle for WWE again,
confirmed.
Yeah. What could a CM Punk heel run look like?"
I like your answer better than mine. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, he'll just be a complete part-timer and just revel in hypocrisy of taking the main event spot from younger talent, because that was one of his beefs when he left.
People wouldn't care about that, though. They'd be okay with that.
It would depend. No, he'd have to be
they'd
like...
say, you deserve it.
He'd have to be like a real jerk about it.
How? Yeah, but how? By getting, like, how would you do that?
Like Kevin Owens win the Royal Rumble, and it's like, oh, he's going to take on Brock Lesnar. And then somehow, I don't know how, some machination, some crap storytelling, CM Punk swoops in and takes that spot.
No, he would. So Kevin Owens he'd win the Rumble, and then CM Punk would come in. Contract says I get the main event.
Yeah,
you're out.
Yeah, and then Kevin Owens, if they're going to follow through on that, would have to be on the kickoff show.
Yeah,
and the Andre Battle Royal.
I've made it so you're on the kickoff show.
Yes.
Even then, fans would be like, "Too bad, Kevin Owens."
I don't know, people really like Kevin Owens though.
People really want CM Punk back. I would say just be Vince's lapdog. This would kill CM Punk. Yeah. It would kill him. It wouldn't be good heel heat.
No.
It would just kill him.
Yeah.
He'd eventually get go away heat.
It'd be worse.
Although I don't know, he'd make it entertaining.
It'd be like when Stone Cold aligned himself with Vince. The potential there for some funny stuff.
Yeah.
If they allowed him to actually be funny.
Yeah, people would be into it regardless. I don't know how to get him over as a heel. I'm sure he'd love the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, Luis Areza. My question is to recreate the following stables using people on the current roster, NXT included.
We just kind of did all the wrestling, though.
Yeah, so I went... So, first up, NWO. I'll go first on that one.
All right.
So, you got to think, okay, the original NWOs, Hogan, Hall, and Nash, okay? So, the closest thing to a Hulk Hogan these days is John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's Hogan.
Yep.
For Hall and Nash... Nash, of course, was a former WWF champion, and then Hall, former big name in WWF, Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
I did go with two top champions, though, who have a history, Roman and Seth. They're the kind of the closest thing you get to like a clique these days. I mean, I'm not sure backstage if they're that much of a clique. They seem to act like they have like a legit brotherhood, though. So I'd go with Cena, Roman, Seth for my original NWO.
I'm going to say Cena and the Young Bucks. Because one thing that really was a huge deal when Hall and Nash came over is these two huge names from WWF coming to WCW.
That's good.
So if you want to replicate that dynamic, you got to have two huge names come from AEW, who have in this sense a literal brotherhood.
Yeah.
So give me Cena. He's reinventing himself with the Young Bucks.
Okay.
Next, the Four Horsemen. I'll go first this time.
Okay.
I'm taking two different paths with this. Well, actually, kind of three. So I got Charlotte and Tessa. They got the family lineage.
Oh, good. Okay.
And if you got Charlotte in there, you got to have Andrade.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And then I put Cody because he's a sharp dresser.
Yeah.
I think he could embody the spirit of the Horsemen, jet setting, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's my new Four Horsemen.
So I'm just sticking with WWE on this one. I got the Revival, the closest thing to that era type wrestler. So I got the Revival, Randy Orton, who of course palled around in his own version of the Four Horsemen. I always want to say Four Horsewomen these days. Yeah. Like that's the automatic thing that comes to mind.
I know.
And then I got AJ Styles in there too. I just think it'd be kind of fun, like for AJ to heal it up a little bit. I think AJ would be fun as a guy who obviously he is a family guy, but to see him try to do the jet setting guy, I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun.
That could be fun.
Then the Radicals, of course, guys who come over from a different company and invade. They didn't really invade. The Radicals,
they just kind of came.
They just came. They were kind of like big free agents.
And they just want to make a name for themselves.
Yeah. So I've got coming over from AEW, Hangman Page, Sammy Guevara, and LAX.
I have also coming from AEW, MJF, Hangman Page, Joey Janela, and Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio Sky is a really good one. I originally had MJF in mind. However, I think that he's too close to being a Jericho level guy that would get his own big deal.
Probably.
But yeah, I really like Scorpio Sky.
Next, Ravens Flock. I got Darby Allin, Priscilla Kelly, Jimmy Havoc, and Aleister Black.
I don't have a better answer than that. That's really good. I'll move on then to DX. For me, it's Kevin Owens, Adam Cole. As the insurance policy Rick Rude, I've got Bob Rude. Nia Jax in the China role. And then as the New Age Outlaws, if you're going to go to that length, you bring in the Young Bucks to be them.
Yeah.
I did not book an X-Pac, maybe Sammy Guevara. I don't know.
I did. Buddy Murphy. He's the cruiserweight of the group.
Okay, that's good.
I agree with you on Owens. He loves doing the cross chop already. Instead of Cole, I went with Finn Balor.
Okay, cool.
Give it a little bit more of an edge.
You think that he could do a good... Because the thing about Owens and Cole is that they could have the juvenile mentality of DX.
Totally. No,
Finn,
they could.
It'd be interesting if Finn tried to do
exactly. I went with XLAX for the tag team.
Okay.
And then Buddy Murphy.
Okay. Good.
Final text question. Hadley Doodley Champ says, my question this week is, you are both under WB contracts and haven't been on TV in months, so you each need to devise a plan on how to get out of your contracts. Bonus points for creativity. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So I'm assuming I get called saying, hey, we need you for TV this week. I show up. What do you got for me? Sorry, nothing. Plans fell through. Week after week after week of that. I'm on the road, busting my butt on house shows, not getting any TV. This is what I'm tired of it. This is what I start doing.
You're getting a paycheck?
Yeah, but I'm not in it for just for the money. I'm in it to show what I got for the performance, to make people smile, to do something interesting and creative and fun.
Fine.
So I go to gorilla position each and every night. House show, TV, I don't care what it is. And I start doing, like you start hanging around there. You know what annoys people. For example, at TV, I'd go sit right next to Vince and just chat him up, like casually, and just start sneezing. Endlessly sneezing. But in between sneezes, I'd start pitching the absolute worst creative ideas I had. I say, Vince, let me do this. I'll go home and I'll type it up right now.
You got the script.
Yeah, and sneeze all over the place. Here you go, Vince. And he gets so disgusted, he's like, get this guy out of here. So then even on the road at house shows, I'll go sit next to Michael P.S. Hayes. Find out what annoys him most. Hey, Michael, doot. I got some great doot ideas. Doot.
Just be the most fucking annoying.
Just be the most annoying person backstage. No one could stand me. And they think, well, this guy's supremely annoying. He's got terrible ideas. And then when the chance I do go out there and wrestle, I make a mockery of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like no one's going to hire this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the odds would be it'd probably kill my career. Nonetheless, if I really want out, I get out, disappear for a few months, completely reinvent myself, and try it again.
All right, fair enough. Man,
Dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's actually been ACH got released because he went super. I mean, he's super political, I guess. And I'm pretty sure that ACH's release is contingent on him not going anywhere of note
for a while,
for a long time.
Yeah.
So his bucket list at this point is go town to town and wrestle, at places nobody's ever heard of. That's all you can really do.
Yeah.
I really like your idea. I just feel like Vince would probably just send you home.
Well, if that's the case, then at least I don't have to worry about going out on the road. I'm just sitting at home collecting money.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to get on TV, I don't want to bother with the whole process of being on the road and being away from my family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Probably just like set up some hidden cameras in bathrooms.
Oh dear.
Do that.
Then you're making yourself unhireable.
Well, yeah. Then regardless, you're gonna have to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to reinvent yourself. I mean, that might get you some prison time as opposed to. So I don't know. Like, I mean. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like your ideas. Your ideas are good. Just go near Vince. I don't know. It made me laugh. I can't come up with anything funnier than that.
Just annoy him. Just be really annoying.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
And hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all the questions we got.
That's all the questions we got.
Hope everybody out there has a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. If you're going out shopping on Friday, be safe.
Yeah.
But if not, stay home. If there's any left, buy one of these. 20% off.
Friendo Club shirt.
FriendoMarket.com. Promo code Friendo.
And then tomorrow we got some fun stuff, man. We got a big announcement coming up tomorrow.
There's some interesting stuff happening this weekend.
This weekend should be a lot of fun for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.